G'day guys, what's cracking? It's Ralph here. FotoPro recently reached out to me and said, can you review our travel tripod? And I said, I'm always up for a good old tripod travel review, so I will review it for you. So it came in this box. Surprising, right? Oh, Ralph, you just got it out of that box and put another one. Of course it came in this box. And it comes like this. So it starts off, it's this big, so it's really quite compact. It's this weight. So it is aluminium, it's not carbon fiber. What you spend on weight, you save in size. That's maybe what they could like have as their slogan. Maybe not. Comes out like this, and we've got a couple of things that are worth noting that come with this. First of all, has a phone mount built in. We'll get to the phone mount later on. Has your Allen keys or your hex keys, depending on which part of the globe you're from, and a little carabiner there. Let's take it out of all its plastic glory. Oh, plastic. Nothing against you guys, but it's just killing our planet, hey? Okay, feels really nice when you open it up and fits together really well. The head is nestled in between the legs and holds the legs away so they're parallel to each other down the central column. Now, as we open it up, we go click one, so that's one setting. Oof, don't hit yourself in the face with it. So that's really, really close to the ground, but you always have the center column to worry about. If you turn this lever here, it lowers it, and it will lower it to a minimum shooting height of, that must be about 28 centimeters at a guess. Now let's go to the feet. The feet spin out, so the feet spin out and they unlock the legs. So we go from 1 length, 2 lengths, 3 lengths, 4 lengths, and when they're all out, you tighten like so, and they're held in place. It's worth noting because all of the junctions on the tripod are like this, but I'm going to show you the height of it when we get outside so you get a real good feel for it. We can just click that all undo, and you just twist it, and then you can just tighten it up with the foot against here. So it's really quite quick the way it does that. We have a slide here which allows for the center column, which is still well gripped, so it doesn't just fall through. You've got to push it through and can go through the hole. So if we are shooting in this sort of configuration like so, you can actually have it mounted like this. Because I pull this out, and let's say I want to tighten it at full stretch, tighten it just here. I can then make sure this is all tight, and I can twist this and see it unlocks. It goes drrr, and then it pulls out, and it brings with it the cap up here. So we have this height plus the height of the legs. That's how high we're talking. I know it's a secret. I'm not going to tell you how high it is until we get outside in just a minute. Let me lock that up and show you the top. And just playing around with this tripod actually feels really good and nice, and it locks in where it should, and when it locks in it stays locked, which I'm really happy about. So if I turn this, I think I can turn this completely. So I can turn this to my heart's content. Has a loop on the bottom which can be screwed in and out, and you can also use your carabiner, so you can attach a weight or your bag or anything you like here if you feel like it needs some more stability, or you want to just hold your stuff safe. So you might have some filters that you just want to keep safe. Just click it here and it'll dangle in the middle. Just make sure that if it's too dangly, it's going to throw this off. And the challenge of this tripod is its stability when it's at full mount, and this is at full because you've actually got the combination of a tripod with a monopod. So just keep that in mind. Now let's have a look here. There's a lever here that if I pull this lever, it gives the top ball head nice fluidity, and it can go at any angle, and it's got a cutaway here, which means if you line the cutaway up with the stem, it can go down like this. Then you have this outside knob. If you turn this outside knob, it allows the top bit to fully rotate, right? So you can now have your camera moving any way this way, and then any way this way, including vertical. And when you go vertical, you can still turn your camera any way you like, right? So that's advantage. It's pulled away from the legs, so you've got the freedom of it working over here. And then finally, if I go the inside screw and I undo that, it ejects an Arca Swiss plate. Now let's just test this. I've got a Z camera here on an L frame. Just going to lock that in, and yeah, any Arca Swiss plate will fit nicely in there, and it has a good feel to it. It's just a couple of turns and it's loose, but once you tighten it up, let me just go tight. And there's no give, it's not going to move. The base plate's really nice, has 2 rubber bands on top, and underneath has a hex as well as a D-link to turn it and tighten it with your hand, and the bar, so if you have a blade you can put it in there and tighten up on the bottom of your camera. You can actually keep it on the bottom of your camera. It has these 2 stop points, you can remove them if you want, but they go in nicely with these little indents you see on the top of the head bracket. And it also has your little leveling thing there, which is better than nothing. It's not the best thing in the world, it's pretty tiny, but it does the job, and sometimes you just need the job to be done for whatever reason. All right, let's take this outside and see how it goes in the real world. Let's do a time test, see how long it takes to set up. It just feels pretty quick, right? In case you're worried about like how long does this take. So that's like that. And then we just turn this. And that's how high it is. That gives you about 1.5 meters to work with. This is on firm concrete and there is a fair bit of wobble. All right, here's the wobble, ready? So there's a fair bit of wobble. And of course you can decrease the wobble by pushing this all the way down through this, but that will also limit your height to around 1 meter. So you just need to be careful of that. If we did that though, let's just do that. So we're going to open that and push this all the way down. And the stability now is really quite solid. So the limitation of this tripod is actually when it has to use the monopod aspect of it. And to do that, you need to make sure this is screwed off and this is tight to go like this. And look. So there is a little bit of give there, but let me just put a camera on it just to make sure. We stuck a base plate on a Z5 with a Viltrox 40mm on the front. Not a lot of weight in it, but it will do the job for what we need to do. Slide it in one side, drop it in the other, tighten it up. It's not going to slide out because those bolts are there. It does take a few turns to tighten it up, but it is really secure. And it's really, it does wobble a fair bit. But if I'm just gonna, I can actually put that at anywhere I like. Just need to be careful. Found a little bit of a limitation. So as you move this around up here, it can move these around, so just be careful of that. The other limitation is if I try and go like this too much, my bolt that holds my plate on hits the grip plate that's at the top of the tripod. There's a couple of limitations there to be aware of, but I do like the way it moves and works together, and I do like the color finish on all of this. It just feels nice. It's easy to move and to manipulate into any area and function that you want. And if you cue up or tee up your bubble level, which you have to do with the camera off, but you cue that up, you can then do some panoramas like this. And the way I get around the shake is, yeah, I think it takes about 3 seconds to calm down. So I put it on a 5-second timer if you're going to do anything long exposure, because when you press this button, it's going to shake. Yeah, it's going to shake for about 3 to 5 seconds. So you might even want to go 10 seconds on that just to be sure if you're shooting on this. If you're shooting on a phone, your phone weighs far less than your camera and you can vlog with it. You can unscrew the bottom of the stem column, then you can pull this out, leave the tripod there, and you have yourself a big selfie stick. So you can manipulate the top of this to function any direction you like, put your camera or your phone on that, and you can actually vlog like this or uphold like so. If you need extra reach, if it's like crazy situation, you can actually put it back on the tripod and use the tripod for extra reach, but otherwise you have a selfie stick built in with the tripod. Let me just interject into my own video for just a second to say this is a 10-piece tripod, right? So the legs are 5 pieces long, and then the monopod up top is 5 pieces long. You can set it mid-height if you want, that's no problems, and you can shrink this down as much as the thickest part of the center column will allow, which is about to there, but you can't go all the way down to the base, but you don't need to because you're going to wrap it up like this. But what you need to know is that the more pieces a tripod has, the smaller it compacts down to. So it's better for travel, it's better for carrying around, but along with 5 pieces comes 5 opportunities or vulnerabilities for your stability, and that's the challenge. The more pieces a tripod has, the less stable it is on a spectrum or a continuum. So you have some really stable 5-piece tripods, and you have really some rickety 3-part tripods, but as a whole, the more pieces that go into creating the stabilization for your camera, the more vulnerable you are to shake and to instability. So what do you guys think? Is it for you? Would you be like, yeah, I need that actually. I'm going on this trip, or I'm doing this experience, or it just complements the rest of my gear really well. It also has a mounting point here of 1/4-20 should you want to mount anything on the side at this point, but it doesn't on the rest. I'm not sure I'd use it all the time as my reliable source for a long exposure, because the legs have a little bit of, like, they're pretty thin down here. They've got a little bit of give in them, and the neck, as you pull that up, also has a little bit of give in it too. So it's a tiny bit shaky. So you could get away with it, absolutely. So travel photography is perfect, because sometimes you're just like, oh, I need this. But if you're thinking, is this the one for me if I'm doing astro, or I'm doing a lot of time lapses, or I'm doing a lot of long exposure work? Probably not. But if you're thinking, I want a handy little tripod, or I've got a lower budget option, or I want to get something for the kids so they can carry it around and enjoy the use of it. It's really fluid. It's really nice. I really like it. I do like the grip you get with this base plate. It does feel really good. The rubber on top gives a really good attachment to the camera, and the really thick D-ring here makes it really stick. And then of course we have our phone mount, and the phone mount simply attaches quite seamlessly to this. I reckon a development they could do is actually create a phone mount that doesn't need the base plate. So if you had a phone mount that didn't need the base plate, you could actually then just attach it straight to this without any issue or hassle at all. Just one less piece to worry about. The phone mount itself is good. It's a ratchet, so it pulls out like this, and then lock your phone in at whatever width you like. I've got an iPhone 15 Pro Max, and if I lock this in like that, it just fits. Like, it just fits. And I would recommend it fitting better. It does fit within the case, which is good, but you'll probably get a nicer, neater fit if it's outside the case. And these 2 buttons on top, just eject and pull your phone up, and that comes out. Also has a mounting point at the back, and it looks really nice. Like the phone mount, I think it'd just be a bit better if you could mount it in here, and perhaps have a cold shoe mount on top, and therefore you'd just be able to cover all your bases really quickly. Well, that's it for me and FotoPro's FY-820 travel tripod. Is it for you? I'd love to know in the comments below. Thanks, FotoPro, for sending this to me and our partnership. I'm really enjoying this. Let me know if I can help you out with anything concerned with this. And otherwise, I will do my best to put some more light in the studio. Like, it's just a key light today. I realize that because I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 other lights are all out of battery. Like, just before I came to shoot, I'm like, the show must go on. So with that and the text message I've just received, I'm out. See ya.